Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me here today, whatever time of day or night you find this. This video is a timeless, so it means that anytime you find it, it's meant for you for your next 24 hours. It is the daily motivation and the daily inspiration for today for you. Here in California, it is already 11:55, but I know that some people on the other side of the world, it is early in your day, all right? So I thought it'd be really nice to have a daily for you guys, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started with our Motivation Manifesto cards to see what your motivation is for today, okay? I do channel energy, so sometimes I start to get some, I'll get different messages, and I will go ahead and just speak about those, but it's just as they come and go. Here we go. This is the motivation for your day. I see today as a very big symbol of unity. I see today with a lot of arms in the air. It's like arms going like this, like where it's like people are, that's like this unity of today. Hi! Yeah, it's like a unity of today, a lot of bringing together today, okay? We're going to see where your motivation is for today. Today, I feel like collectively, your guys' motivation is you are inspired to collaborate with other people on things. We have here, without self-mastery, we are slaves to fear, impulse, and conformity. With self-mastery, joy, greatness, and transcendence are ours. When we work on ourselves, we're able to help other people with bigger projects. That's what we're talking about today. It's about the project of self-mastery and discipline. I'm hearing discipline. It's keeping your promises to yourself. When you make a promise to yourself, like you're trying your best to make everything maybe a lot more healthier in your environment, or you're trying your best to stick with a new schedule, or to try a new course or something, picking up something. Sometimes it's just a habit that we need to be disciplined at. It's the self-mastery that's going to allow you to move forward. And I'm also hearing that your road with self-mastery is going to be aided, which means it's helped by other people that are around you. It's like a group. Could even be like a group that you're joining, or some kind of something that you're joining that it's that they help you to inspire you in your self-mastery. Because I'm getting the hands again, and the hands are like something I can't ignore. Now we're going to the Louise Hay Power Thought cards. What's your inspiration for today? Your inspiration is, I can release the past and forgive everyone. I free myself and everyone in my life from old past hurts. They are free and I am free to move on into new glorious experiences. This is about letting go of past things that have held you back into becoming the better version of yourself, the self-mastery version of yourself. So this is definitely speaking of that self-mastery. It's knowing what to leave behind in order for something new and wonderful and great to come in. See the size of that flower? It's this greatness, this really beautiful, beautiful thing that can come into your life. And I'm feeling a passion with the flower. It's like a passion. If it's love, it's about overcoming. If you're trying to get over someone, that self-mastery in that, in the release of them, you'll find an abundance of love. A love greater than your past loves. Because I'm seeing that this is a giant rose, and these are little roses right here. And it's really speaking to me about a love greater than your past love. If it's not love, and it's speaking about work and your passions, if you have discipline in what you're doing, you have discipline in your schedule, discipline in what you're learning, discipline in learning and enhancing your skills, you are going to gain a higher perspective on your passion. Because I'm feeling higher perspective with this. When I see that it's higher, the height of it is speaking to me for those of you that are inquiring about your career. And it's about forgiving yourself in your past mistakes and others too. Like maybe projects that didn't go so well, or maybe forgiving yourself and not being able to have things turn out the way you had wanted. But I see that like there's greater things in letting things go and moving towards like enlightenment. I see a shield on a man, and it's talking to me. I'm hearing two different versions of this. If it's love, it's somebody who shields their heart. If it's not love that we're inquiring, it's someone's ego that shields them from self-mastery. Your ego could get in the way of self-mastery. Here we go. When you're trying to conquer something within yourself, it is easy for you to like get caught up in like self-mastery of I don't need that help. I don't need that. I'm better than that. Or this and that. I already conquered that. I don't need to think about that. It's this getting to a place of like a self-righteousness one, where you feel like because you've conquered something, you don't have to conquer it a second time. Or because you've conquered something, it doesn't matter if you conquer, you don't have to conquer everything else, right? Like it somehow justifies you not having to completely take accountability of your self-mastery. Some people, not everybody, some people. It's going to be a sense of pride and a sense of ego that you may be dealing with today, okay? But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I'm seeing a table. I've been seeing tables lately too. Tables always speak to me about family dealings, like people who are dealing with maybe family issues, or sometimes it's like relationships with family. But right now I'm seeing like the table, and then I'm seeing like a portrait being put up, and the portrait is like a woman, okay, like, but it's like a higher, like one of those people that are higher up in your family. Like it could be it could be grandma's picture at the top, or it's like that, like because I'm seeing like an older woman's portrait, and she And it's at the front of the table. It's in the dining. It's like in a large dining room. And everybody's going to sit down around the table. And so we see, yeah, pedestal. 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 Interesting. I feel if this is regardless of whether this is business or love, this is you possibly putting, I'm going to draw a second card too for that, because I feel inclined to. I feel like the self-mastery is within yourself. I feel like there's a sense of like putting some kind of, I feel like saying, putting a trophy on the shelf, putting somebody on a pedestal. There's some sort of like superficialness with somebody perhaps in your family, or if it's not your family, it could be somebody at work, in a work position, where it's like you're trying to work with them. But there could be an ego with this person. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, like there could be this ego with this person, and as a result, you sort of put them on this pedestal. Okay? When you deal with ego, an ego can really be us saying, oh, our flower right here is actually the biggest flower, you know? But really, it's not about which one's the biggest flower. It's about looking at the beauty in all the flowers, and all the flowers put together. So, if you're doing business and you're having a bit of a, I'm feeling to say like a bit of a rough patch when you guys are coming together around the table, when you guys are coming to meetings, when you guys are coming together, the issue could be revolving around ego. And if you let something like that get in your sights, it's going to be magnified, and you won't really be able to focus on all the other beautiful things that you guys could possibly create together, because you could be too focused on something else. This is all speaking of, it's also speaking about like it's speaking about when people, you know, when people put too much emphasis on something, like they could put too much emphasis on something, they could say, well, you know, this is, it's like they elaborate on something when it should be maybe elaborated as a whole as opposed to one, you know? And when you look at things as a whole and you look at how everyone else can contribute, you gain a new significance for a project. Because I feel like there's just so much ego. It almost blocks the rest of the reading. Because it's like I just feel ego. If there's so much ego, it's not a very it's not a very good thing to have when you're trying to do self-mastery. So right here we also have strength. This is strength. Yep, this is strength, and this is pedestal. Okay, so this could be portraying a larger image than you really are, portraying a better significance of yourself than you really have. This is definitely ego right here, like pure ego right here. It's strength in superficialness is what I'm feeling. I feel it heavy right here. And what I'm feeling it is with, this could be the thing that you have to self-master. Some of you guys, and some of you guys are dealing with this kind of person. You're not necessarily that kind of person, but you could be dealing with somebody who sort of puts themselves on a pedestal. You could be dealing with a boss like that. You could be dealing with a partner like that. You could be dealing with a love interest like that. You could be the love interest that's like that. But this is, nonetheless, it's speaking about ego. And it's speaking about having the strength to plant a solid foundation rather than a foundation that's built out of ego. Okay? Because sometimes when we put ourselves or we put others on a pedestal, we end up with something like this, you know? The flower looks much larger than it really is, right? It's kind of like that. And then you see this pedestal and you see the strength right here. You need to have self-will to overcome this ego. When you have self-will, when you have self-will to overcome ego or overcome someone else's ego that's around you that's sort of hindering your progress, then when you have this strength with the self-will, like we were discussing right here for the first card, then you can definitely overcome this with longevity. Okay, so this is overcoming a lot of ego issues. So you may have an issue today that you kind of think it's like this huge issue and it really isn't. You're kind of like blowing it out of proportion, and it's, you know, and you may feel, maybe some of you may be worried to speak up to somebody because they look a little more intimidating or they come off a little more intimidating. But this is reminding you that it's no one gets put on a pedestal. You don't put people on a pedestal. You don't even put yourself on a pedestal. Okay? That's not humble and it's not nice. Right here, we have strength together and we move forward. We overcome this pedestal and we grow something that's going to be lasting, something that's in solid soil. Okay? You don't want to grow something that's just a flower in the ground. You want to grow something that's a tree. Okay? The tree will yield more fruit. Okay? This is talking about self-mastery, you guys. And we're talking about overcoming ego, whether it's your ego or it's someone else's ego that's affecting you. Because sometimes other people's ego can interfere with our own aura. And when other people come around us and we're having to deal with their ego, well, then we end up with, you know, a high ego can yield someone else this torment of self-sabotage. So high ego is never good. It's never good for the workplace. It's never good for people themselves. It's never good for a relationship. Ego today. I would leave you with that. Think about ego. Think about how ego affects your life, whether it's you or it's somebody around you. Think about how ego affects your life today. Because today you're going to get something from that. You're going to get some lesson from that, whether it's you or it's somebody else. If it's a trigger warning with this, because sometimes people do get a little too upset when they hear, you know, something about ego and they got a high ego or something, that would be a trigger thing. But this isn't to get anybody upset, because it might not be you. It might be someone around you that's doing this, and then you have a direct effect from it. But nonetheless, this has to do with ego today. I really hope you guys get to learn from this today. I hope that something happens today and you gain a new perspective that makes your life a lot more abundant by noticing a little bit. Just pay attention to ego stuff today. I think you're going to be pretty surprised. Okay? Thank you and have a blessed next 24. I'll talk to you guys later on, all right? Bye.